Hello, everyone. I recorded a live commentary at the time, but the convention itself was extremely loud that you couldn't really hear anything I was saying. So here I am with half an hour of footage talking over it yet again. But hopefully I can do it with a more optimistic tone this time, because at the place I was like, no, help, where are the exits? For the love of all humanity, let me out of here. So yes, already sliced up my vocal cords, and I've got 29 minutes to go. So yes, this is basically the start of it. Just all of these strange-looking people wondering how they managed to walk to the actual place or get on the train or whatever looking like that without dying of embarrassment. See, there's my friend there wearing a suit and tie trying to be Lewis from Left 4 Dead 1. Very respectable, just like that old man up in front with the orange bag. You know, he could go to a business interview after this, whereas most of the other people here, I don't, I feel sorry for them, basically, but they're having fun, hopefully, and that's, I guess, what counts. But, yes, and there was a horrible stench going into this place. I'm not even joking. It's just, it turns out it was rotting sewage, just next door, like a little lake of green goo. But my little assumption was that it was the combined body odor of all of these unhygienic teens and geeks. But either way, so here we go. A bunch of people dressed up. I didn't really make much of an effort because this is the first time I've been to one of these places, and hopefully it'll last. That guy looked quite good, the Predator guy, and there were a few others that actually did show real effort. So hooray for them! And see, this guy, I didn't even notice at the time, but he spewed out all that acid kind of stuff. The camera was facing him while I was in a different direction. As you'll notice throughout most of this, I'm pointing the camera at the ground most of the time while looking around, so not the not something I'd enter as my directorial debut. There's Tigger, or a guy wearing some kind of orange coat. But anyway, I don't need to comment on. And there's my friend on his phone trying to be Mr. Businessman. So yes. And that's pretty much all this commentary's gonna be for the next half an hour. But yes, all I wore was a white t-shirt with a printed Shenmue logo on it. I showed that in the intro. Don't know if it caught that. I haven't replayed that piece of footage yet. And strangely, some people recognized me. I was trying to be Mr., blending in. No one really noticed I was there, so I could mock them, be like, ah, look at these dopey people. But one person actually broke my little bubble of, see, that guy even wanted to be on the camera. But anyway, so yes, they broke my little protective bubble, and one guy shook my hand because I was wearing that Shenmue t-shirt. And strangely, someone from the Nintendo booth actually clapped. Two people, in fact. They were Nintendo representatives showing off some new Wii and DS games, and they clapped because I was wearing a Shenmue t-shirt, which is a Sega game, which makes it even more strange. But apart from that, I managed to remain incognito. And there's my friend again. How strange. I was basically commenting on how normal he looks compared to most of the other people here. It's kind of crazy. And you'll see a lot of me just zooming into women's legs and chest areas, because if they're going to expose them, why the hell not? So yes, that's pretty much it. A bunch of people wearing red. Amazing effort. So, there was a strange amount of Naruto people and Kingdom Hearts people, as if they're the big things. Maybe they are, I don't know. We haven't had a Kingdom Hearts game in a few years. Well, there was one on the DS about a year ago, but that was lame. Anyway, so yes, you can see, not the best footage in the world, but it does the job. There's the boat from One Piece, I think. I don't know. So, I don't really care for anime. And there's cross-dressing Princess Peach. But anyway, not the best idea to go to an anime and comic book convention when you don't watch anime or read comics. But I wanted to go along with my friends, something to do, I had a week off work. Thought, why not? Something to get out the house for. Blah, blah, blah. Again, people's feet, because I wasn't really looking at what I was filming. Good stuff, good stuff. What else we got? There's Bayonetta. Not too bad, actually. That reminds me, there was apparently someone dressed up as Catwoman. I personally didn't see them, but my friend was like, look, there's Catwoman. I was like, where? Where? I missed it. Because, there's a fat guy trying to be Kingdom Hearts man. And another one. Anyway, but yes, I have a thing for women in cat suits. It's a rarity to find, to be fair, but I missed it. And he was like, "Oh man, you should have seen it. Her cleavage was all pushed together in that outfit." I was like, "Dude!" He didn't even know about my little fetish, so he wasn't making that up. And awkward shots of my friend's butt there, where I wasn't looking at what I was filming. And he turns around and he's like, "Sure you weren't." Ha! He's quite the kidder. Moving on. A bunch of people dressed as Chinese people. Quite convincing. So, yes. That was borderline offensive. I meant nothing by it, and there's his butt again. I really need to look at what I'm filming. But I'm sure some ladies out there find that interesting. Okay, oh, for Pete's sake, look at it. It's all over the place. Anyway, what else? Ba-ba-bum. So there's a lot of this just trying to actually get to the place. I actually found this little walk to the place more entertaining than the actual place itself, because it was all noisy and crowded and filled with things and references that I didn't get. I mean, most of these people I didn't know what they were actually dressed as, but it was still interesting seeing what goes through people's mind, that they're going to wake up one day and decide that they're going to go out into the real public world as the Cookie Monster. Fun stuff. And he waved at me, so strange. Anyway, I felt like interviewing some people, but that was my original plan. I was going to interview some people and just, see what goes through their mind to want to come to these places dressed as Tigger or cross-dressing Princess Peach or something like that. But I just couldn't muster up the courage. So instead, I just mumbled under my breath, mocking these people as I was walking along. And now I can do that in the comfort of my own home. Hooray! So they can't look at me and be like, "Hey, that's not fair. We're gonna kill you." Or whatever geeks do when they're wearing cardboard box dinosaur heads on top of them. Who knows? There's female Robin. Blah, blah, blah. I don't need to comment on every little thing you can see. I should be giving you insight on what you can't see right now. Like good camera work. There we go. I just had to restart the footage from the 7-minute mark because the footage randomly froze and I didn't want it to get too out of sync. But either way, here's the extremely long line. I literally couldn't believe how long the line was for this place. That's pretty much all I was saying the entire time for this first section of footage was, "Oh my god, I can't believe how long this line is. All of these people came to this place. Do they have nothing better to do?" Oh, the irony. But oh well. And there we go again with just filming my friend's shirt. How amazing. And yes, just some nice woman. Grammar not my friend. So, tra-la-la-la-la. You can just look at the screen. I say that as I'm filming the floor. So, not quality combinations there. Oh yes, they were also trying to set a world record for the number of people, or for a load of people having DSs in one location. And apparently they did break the world record. Even though I brought my DS, I couldn't find the actual location where they were doing the competition. So I couldn't be part of it, unfortunately. Because they actually got the world record. It was something like 508 DSs in one location or some crap like that. I don't think they're technically allowed to include the DS factories where they're produced. Otherwise, I think that record wouldn't even stand a chance. But, yes. There's Sailor Moon. Some costumes were better than others. And it's jammed again. Wait, no, it hasn't. It just froze for a little bit. Amazing technology, and I can't even work out what that is. Oh. Some of this footage is not in order, it seems, because now we've magically gone from walking to the line to being halfway in the line. Very unprepared. So yes, don't expect much from this footage. It's just me standing in a line, filming everyone. I kept turning the camera off and on, just whenever someone would come past wearing an interesting outfit, I quickly switch on the camera. So yes, you can kind of make out what I was trying to do during this big line. So, I just realized I've been talking like I've been constipated the whole time. Tra-la-la-la-la. This keeps bloody jamming. What is this about? Excuse me. And here we go yet again. I don't know why this keeps freezing. I know this sounds a bit crazy to you because you're watching the nice smooth footage. Well, it's smooth at least. It's not very nice. I mean, that's just some guy's coat. Top quality stuff. You don't need to hear me throughout this whole thing. It's a shame that I muted the volume, though, of the actual footage itself. There wasn't much to hear, really, just... Well, there wasn't anything to hear, just a bunch of people talking all at once. You know you can't pick up on conversations when you got like 50 going off at once. Do 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 do, bum bum bum. We're 10 minutes in. There's some woman trying to be Professor Layton, offering free hugs, which I thought was a bit strange. I know that's the custom thing to do at these nerd conventions, and that's probably the only affection they'll ever get in their life. But it seems a bit strange considering that hugs are generally free, unless you go to a prostitute and pay like $5 for a hug because you're that desperate for affection. Some guy dressed in green and purple and red. Don't know what that's about. Maybe they're going as the Guitar Hero colors. Who knows? Maybe there's going to be a giant spanking and they're all going to get smacked to the beat of some song. Would have been funny if I could think of something. Dragon Force. That's a pretty intensive one. So, and this guy is the nerdiest person I've ever met. This Naruto fat guy. He was talking to my friend about how he's been on adventures and whatever, just referencing things from the show, and it was just very strange. I didn't know if he was joking or if he believes that he's this Naruto who's just gained about 100 pounds out of nowhere. I don't know. Don't particularly care either, but it was kind of creepy because I get claustrophobic, and as you can see, there was a lot of zigzagging through this I don't know what you'd call it. It's supposed to be some kind of queue, but there's no one for like 5 lines in a row, as you can see. So I don't know why people didn't just hop across the lines instead of zigzagging back and forth. Bit strange, but whatever. And it's jammed again. Marvelous. Simply marvelous. Whoop whoop. Don't stop the partying. Being trapped in a line with no one anywhere in the following lanes that we could have just hopped across the railings to get to. And there's a new crack pairing for anyone who's into that kind of business. The Mad Hatter and that guy from Assassin's Creed. I don't play that or know about it, so yes, whatever their name is. Not my kind of thing, but there are some people out there who are probably into that. So, like there was some woman dressed up as, I can't even remember, but they had a paddle which said yaoi on it, which is a term for relationships involving two males. How strange. So, yes, and they were just smacking everyone's butt, going, yowie, yowie. And here we have the Yu-Gi-Oh section, literally about a quarter of the exhibition. This is inside the exhibition now. See how amazing it is, just chairs and tables everywhere. £10, very well spent. And there's Austin Powers taking a picture of Lewis. It's like, oh my God, I've never seen a black man in a shirt and tie before. I gotta take a picture of this. Anyway. So yes, that was just the Yu-Gi-Oh section, and it was literally just tables and chairs for people to play Yu-Gi-Oh cards on, and you had this shifty-looking guy with a briefcase saying, "You want to buy some Yu-Gi-Oh cards? They're nice and shiny. They'll win you battles." And here is where Bentley Jones is supposed to be sitting, but apparently he has the magic power of turning invisible. So yes, and needing 2 chairs for some reason. But anyway, and here's he was the guy who sang the ending credit song in Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. Maybe he does some other stuff. And the thing about these people is I didn't know who they were, and I wasn't really prepared to go up to them and be like, "Excuse me, but who are you? What do you do?" So there's a Scooby-Doo mystery van in the background. But it was a shame, though, because they might have actually done something that I was aware of. Like that Bentley Jones fellow, he wasn't there because of the Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. I guess he does some anime-themed tunes or something. I really don't know. But, I knew him from something else. And I had that point of reference. But with these other people, I didn't know who they were. So, they might have been a voice from one of my favorite shows. But they were there, and I guess they assume that everyone knows who they are at these Super Geek conventions. Which I thought was a bit strange. It's like they had artists from different comics, and they didn't even have their names. So somehow the Super Geeks, or they assume you're so geeky that you know who the artists are by appearance, that you don't even need their name. And I don't know, that seems a bit presumptuous. And here's all the merchandise you could buy that was extremely expensive. All this Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. I mean, well, that's not Nightmare Before Christmas, that little green thing. But anyway, I'm surprised they're still pounding out the merchandise for that Nightmare Before Christmas since it came out in like 1992, was it? I don't remember. 93. Either way, it's like 17 years old at least, and they're still pumping out new merchandise. I guess it's because of that whole emo craze with their black and white stripes, and that Nightmare Before Christmas did that way before then. So it's like, ooh, I've got something to cling on to and relate to. Anyway, so yeah, so it was a bit of a shame that I just literally felt like a fish out of water the entire time because you had a bunch of artists from comics I've never read and a bunch of voice actors from shows I've never watched. So yeah, and the only thing of any interest that I saw there was a Sonic chess set. I'm not the biggest fan of chess. I mean, it's okay, it's a nice little cerebral game if you got the right person to play with. But yes, it's just the only thing there that was of any interest was a Sonic chess set where all the pieces were like little 3D sculptures of the Sonic characters. But the thing is, it was £40, and I'm not gonna pay £40 for a chess set. That seems a bit crazy to me. And most of the people I've ever played chess with have been online or whatever, so it's I'm not the kind of person that a party is like, hey, let's break out the chess set and really kill the buzz of this nice disco atmosphere. Right. There's a green woman. I don't know if this audio is syncing up perfectly with the video anymore, but yeah, so I don't really want to comment on anything that's just flashing by in a second or two because it might be very delayed or you might not see what I'm seeing. And speak of the devil, it has jammed again. So, marvelous. It's quite crowded at this place, though, surprisingly. I mean, the line kind of gave it away that it was going to be crowded. Ooh, lesbians. But, yes, there wasn't much to do there. It's basically a trade show, there's just stuff to buy all over the place. I don't know where that £10 is going exactly, because it was basically like I was just walking into a shop. They had some trials, like I could play that Super Mario Galaxy 2 right there. But it's just the thing is, there was no strict time limit on the demo, because it was the entire game. So there was like a line there, and there was no strict time limit, so someone could just play on it for like 2 hours or finish the whole game if they want. And I'm the kind of person who, even though I'd wait in line patiently, it's just by the time it gets to my go, I would probably just be like, I've made him walk in a circle and jump. That's enough for me. So it wouldn't have really paid off. And the game's pretty much out right now, and I have a Wii, so if I wanted to play it that badly, I'd rather buy it. I got a good score in pretty much everywhere, so do. And we're at 17.5 minutes into this. Hooray! It hasn't been that bad, has it? Well, I don't know. You might be screaming and slitting your wrists right now. I recommend, good butcher knives rather than butter knives, otherwise you'll be there for ages. And there's my friend's paper mache health pack. Good stuff indeed. Or not, really, at all. There's a guy in a box trying to be Snake. On the back it says not Snake, but he's not fooling me. You silly, crazy box-wearing guy. And this is definitely out of order, this footage. This whole damn court's out of order. But yes, because this is back in the line, trying to get back into the place. And this was, we didn't get back in the line at all, so very awkwardly patched together footage here. So I could have actually done a bit of effort and put it in order, but you get the idea. So, a guy running around. Good stuff. Oh, for Pete's sake, it is jammed again. Can you believe this? This is the crappiest software I've ever used. And yet I keep using it. Like a woman who threatens not to stay with her man anymore, but still does, even though he beats her all the time. Amazing. So hopefully this has been interesting to you, but, I'm not an idiot. I can kind of tell that this is boring, so that's kind of the reason I tried to do a nice little light-hearted commentary over the top of it, but even that seeming a bit boring. So, and I don't know if you got anything out of this, really. There wasn't even much to see, even if you were there. But again, I didn't know anything there, so maybe your mileage might have varied if you were familiar with the things that were on show. So, yes, see, Magic the Gathering. I don't know why I keep referencing what's directly on screen, because this is probably completely out of sync now with what I'm seeing. But yes, a few games were on show to play, but again, I didn't want to wait in line and then just have a quick go and then be like, I'm conscious of people standing behind me. You can just play. I don't want to keep you waiting. Beautiful camera work of just blurriness there. Yes, I don't know again what's on screen compared to what I'm seeing, but yes, I filmed a lot of the Nightmare Before Christmas merchandise because one of my best friends is all about that, so I thought I'd film it. You know, a decent person would buy it for them, but I thought, no, they'd much rather me just film it and show them what they could have bought if they were there. A true gentleman indeed. Do, 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 do. But again, at that place, I was so surprised at how much was just tables and merchandise. It's just there was nothing really there of any interest, except it just seemed to be an excuse for nerds to dress up and meet each other. But then again, I don't know where the £10 comes into it, because it was just like you were walking into a shop, and you know you shouldn't have to pay £10 to walk into a shop. Is all I'm saying. So, but maybe that's just me, you know. So a good Master Chief there. I actually kind of wanted to feel the costume to see what it felt like, because it did look like a solid metal suit. It's probably just tinfoil, but either way. Or aluminium foil, or aluminum foil, as American people say. Always mocking me from the way I say my Z's. It's Z. Where are you coming up with Z? I say it as I jolly well please, thank you. Yes, the only thing I did like there, as I'm seeing on the screen, don't know about you, is the Professor Layton poster for the new movie that's coming out September on DVD. It's been out in Japan for about a year, but I'm not Japanese, so it's it's as good as new to me. But the thing that I thought was kind of weird is the moment I went into the expo, there was wait, there's the A-Team van. I've been a fool. But is the moment you go into the this anime expo, there's a huge like 50-inch plasma screen showing Professor Layton stuff, and there's a new game on the way. The third game's being translated, and a new movie. So I kind of pretty much rushed to that, being a huge Professor Layton fan. And it turns out it was just footage from the first game that came out about 3 years ago. So I don't know why that's the big headliner that's supposed to grab your attention the moment you go in there. And they had all of these little Nintendo DSs you can play with the first and second game, which have been out for a few years. So that just seemed a bit strange to me, that he'd pay £10 and then it's like, don't, and they're kind of trying to instantly make you feel like you did waste your money. It's like, hey, this game's only £10 now, so why am I paying £10 to just watch the intro trailer and play a demo of it? But I kept walking along, and even though there's nothing to do with the third game that's supposed to be coming out very soon, and I saw the trailer for the new movie by Manga, and unfortunately there was no dialogue in it, so I couldn't tell if it was English dubbed by the characters from the game, or if it was just going to be in Japanese, or they just got some homeless people off the street to read the lines. Japanese dubs aren't usually known for their quality, so it wouldn't surprise me if they just got a bunch of, monotone people going, I are Professor Laytons. I are likes to solve the puzzles. Hooray! I are got one right. Happy face. So, I'll look forward to seeing if that movie gets a decent translation, or if it's just going to be Japanese with subtitles or whatever. I'm basically having a conversation with myself here, because I know people who watch this aren't going to be huge Professor Layton fans as a bare minimum requirement watching this, so more Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. They're really milking those people. You think they'd have made a second film by now, but nope. We're coming to the end of this, only 6 minutes left. I say only, but, that's a good 80% done. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, it's terrible, okay? Are you happy? Oh yes, I forgot to mention. This thing that we're watching, this expo, with all of their cheap merchandise, that's probably gonna disintegrate the moment you take it outside and it gets some air. It was the MCM Expo. It was I think it was something like the MCM comic and anime convention. I don't even remember. I just tagged along. There's a bunch of homeless tramps on the floor. Do 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 do. And here we are on the way out. Hooray! Here's where I gave my little Jerry's final thought and said about how that was pretty much a waste of time, but I guess if you're into that kind of thing, it's enjoyable. My friend seemed to have a good time. He said I ruined it a little bit for him, which that kind of got to me. I was like, oh, that wasn't what I was trying to do. I was just trying to have fun through insulting everyone else. But apparently my lack of enthusiasm for all these things kind of took its toll on him. But, he tried to make the most of it, so hooray. You know what they say, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Of course, there's more to lemonade than lemons, so that's a pretty retarded phrase, but what you gonna do? And there's the Master Chief. Again, I don't know if you can see what I can see. Do you see what I see? But there he goes. It looks like he put some damn good effort into that. I should have interviewed him, but he was Mr. Popular at the time, and this is on the way out. I'd kind of had enough. So, but even though we were there for about 3 hours or 2 hours, I don't even remember. Product placement. Yes, there were still people coming in at this time. So, there's the Cookie Monster again. Fun stuff, fun stuff. Some crazy woman shouting, "Guys, free hugs! Get your free hugs!" I would have, but just the thought that, normally they charge for their hugs, or that the average person charges for their hugs, it wasn't my business there. So, So, I don't know what kind of people give away hugs like charlatans. And there's an ice cream van, because everybody wants ice cream when it's freezing cold and pouring with rain. He knows his target market. Someone dressed as Tarzan. And that was pretty much it. Hooray, a bunch of Kingdom Hearts people thinking they're better than us as a group. We could have gone as a group, but no. So, a lot of white people there. The area I live in, it's mostly, Asian people, which I don't have a problem with. I'm just saying it, it kind of speaks volumes that pretty much everyone there was a white person. So, yes, it shows how nerdy they are. I don't see... I've pretty much been the only white person in my, workplace or college or whatever for years. For, a good 5 or 6 years. That's the Toxic Lake, by the way, that stank up the place. And I thought it was the combined BO of everyone. But anyway, and, suddenly there's all these white people in one location, and unfortunately they're an embarrassment. So yes, just all of these nerdy people coming out of the woodwork who probably live in their parents' basements 24/7 and never leave, other than to meet up and fester and probably inbreed at places like this. So, if you're at this place, let me know. I don't know if anyone's looking for footage of this now, since I'm recording this 8 days after the event. That's how enthusiastic I am. And there's a Toxic Lake again. But if you were at this place, let me know. Let me know what you dressed up as. And if you had fun. So, because I pretty much didn't. I tried to make the most of a bad situation by mocking everyone. And unfortunately, even that didn't come out. So I had to do all of this again. Bitch, bitch, bitch. That's all I do. So, we're coming to the end. There's only a few more seconds. Everybody's still heading there. The fools! The fools! I feel like just saying, turn back before it's too late. There's still time. Save yourself. Oh, well. And that's it. Farewell, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this. You probably didn't, but I'm not a performing clown, so I tried my best. Farewell. Oh, by the way, there was one other thing that I forgot to mention. As I was walking along, there was actually a guy in the place holding up a sign that said, "Ticket holders this way, non-ticket holders this way." And it seemed a bit strange that they actually paid a guy to hold up a piece of paper that said that. Not even a professionally made sign, just a piece of, well, it might have been card. But why couldn't they have just put like a post there or stuck it on the wall or something. It wasn't like he was waving his arms, getting everyone's attention. I don't know what's going on with people. It's like those people in the toilets that they get paid to hand people little mini pieces of towel to wash their hands after they've done their business. It's not necessary. Just have a tissue dispenser and be done with it. Save someone's minimum wage. My goodness. But yes, if they can actually, stand to do that for minimum wage, then more power to them. I would probably have too much pride. So,